board member for the Just to let everybody know, in case you don't know all of the board members yet, we have 4 women on the board of directors right now. Half of the voting population on the board right now is female. That's pretty cool. I don't know of any other major motorcycle clubs that are as inclusive to women as the MOA. So I think we're really lucky to be here. But anyway, enough about that. I am the least interesting of the ladies up here. I'm going to let each one of them take a couple of minutes to introduce themselves, because I definitely want to have plenty of time for questions and discussion. So try to keep it in a couple minutes, ladies. But the first lady here, just to my right, probably doesn't need much of an introduction. Miss Jocelyn Snow. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Go and sing a song. Everybody will clear the room. My name is Jocelyn Snow, and I love riding motorcycles. That's about all I know, right?
This young lady represented the United States of America last year on the GS Trophy team. She got to go to Mongolia and compete. You were on the ladies team, but they had how many teams?
We have 2 minutes. I'm almost done. So it was a ladies international team, and we competed head-to-head against the men in Mongolia, which was really fun. And we beat some of the boys, so that's always a good thing. But that's not why I'm here. You know, my mission since all this started, and I guess a little bit of social media popularity came from it, which was awesome for me, because my mission is to inspire. Inspire ladies like yourself to get on these motorcycles and get out and adventure and see the world. To inspire new riders, and also to inspire riders who have been riding for a long time to take it to the next level. So at any time when this is all over, since we only have 45 minutes, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you need help spelling my name so you can find me, and any questions you might have or concerns, or what bike is good for you, if you want to talk about gear. It doesn't have to end here. We're all women and we stick together and we're friends. So thanks again for being here. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys for being here.
My name is Erin Cox. Kelly definitely plucked me out of obscurity to be here, so I'm so thankful to be here. And yes, you are incredibly inspiring. So I'm the most average rider you'll ever know. Really. But I've been, my entire family has been in moto. My grandma rode her whole life. My mom rode her whole life. I've been riding for a long time. And I noticed there was an absence in women in riding. So a couple years ago, I started a group called Women's Off-Road Moto, and since then have taught many women how to ride and getting them in the industry. And I'm very passionate about that. So once again, like Jocelyn said, I spend a lot of time coaching new riders on what to ride and where to go, what kind of gears they need, which probably doesn't apply to anybody here, as my passion is to get women who never, ever, ever thought they could be on 2 wheels experience this adventure, because it's amazing. It's so fun. Even if you are, an average rider, a boring person, you can have this amazing adventure. So thank you so much for allowing me to be in your presence today and share my story and my passion.
Hi, I'm Michelle from SheADV, and I'm an instructor both on and off-road. SheADV is a website just to help inspire, encourage, and promote women riding. We focus on off-road, trying to get women into the backcountry. I'm an ambassador for the Backcountry Discovery Routes organization. So yeah, I'm just out there trying to support and encourage women to get out there and be safe about it.
I'm Cassie Meyer. I am very new to all of this. I've only been in the industry actually for a couple of years, and currently I'm in training for the BMW Performance Center, and I absolutely love it. I found kind of my niche with instructing, and the same thing as all these other ladies, just bringing inspiration and showing people that, men and women, that you can ride these big bikes. I ride a big 1200, and Jocelyn does. it's doable, and I really, really love what I do. I love riding, and I can't really say more about it. So.
For a second, I got to ride a 1200 GS for the first time yesterday, and the last lady on our panel here, I was telling her I'd never ridden a 1200, and she handed me the keys.
Good morning. My name is Elisa Clickinger, and I founded Women's Motorcycle Tours. I believe I am the only female tour operator that runs tours exclusively for women. I just published a book, and I'm a motorcycle addict. Is there anybody else in the room that's a motorcycle addict? Yeah, it's my life, it's my passion. My partner's in the motorcycle industry. Next year, I am organizing a massive cross-country event for women, celebrating the passage of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. And I can't think of a better way to celebrate our freedom than on the back of a motorcycle. So riding into Washington, D.C. What else? Oh, and I'm also a journalist. I write for motorcycle consumer news and dealer news. So I've got one foot in the dealer world, and I've got one foot in the consumer traveler world. So love serving as a resource for ladies in the community, and I'm so honored to be here. Thank you.
So to get the discussion going, I'm going to tell just a quick little story. This weekend, as I've been out there meeting a lot of people, a bunch of attendees at this rally have asked me, how did you get into motorcycling? Like, who influenced you to get a bike? And I did not grow up around it. Nobody in my family had a motorcycle. I just wasn't around it as a kid. So sometime after college, it just hit me one day. I was like, I think I need a motorcycle. And the fellow I was seeing at the time said, you know, he gave me this big, long lecture about how dangerous they are, and he just did not think it was a good idea, and he told me, you can't have a motorcycle. I don't know if anyone else in this room has experienced anything like that, but I, in short order, kicked him to the curb and got my bike.
Nice trade.
Never have regretted that decision. But I often find that the thing that is the most motivating for me is when somebody says, you can't. They say, you can't do this? Oh goodness, it lights a fire under my rear end, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I think it's really funny that, well, not funny, but it's interesting that sometimes the biggest sources of discouragement are the people that are the ones that are supposed to love us the most. Our parents, our family. You know, I've got a little boy, he's 7 years old. I catch a lot of grief from people because I'm a mom. You know, how can you do something so dangerous when you have a child? You know, that's tough. You know, I'm not sure how to answer that. Yeah, I'll give you the microphone first. But one of my first questions for the group is, what kind of discouragement have you faced from people who are important to you, and how did you get through that? But before we get to there,
I just wanted to encourage Kelly, because I think what she's doing is being a great mom by just showing her son and other children and other moms that you can still live this life of adventure. I'm also a mother. I'm a foster mother as well. So I have 3 biological sons, and they all ride too. They're 6, 9, and 11. And I will say that I've been on many mom forums in the many years on social media, and I think I'm the only one who will ever post my kids' new Pee-wee gear and new helmet. And I think that's part of the way that we are going to change the industry as mothers, is we are teaching our children how to ride. And we are bringing them up into the industry, whether it's our daughters or our sons. So I applaud you, Kelly.
Yes.
And how did I get, I'm unprepared for this question. Yeah. I will say, you know, haters are gonna hate. Let me think. I feel like, I actually, thankfully, my mom rode her whole life, my grandmother rode her whole life. So the women in my father rode, my husband rides. I have a lot of positive vibes coming from my family, thankfully, in this particular regard. And I guess I'm not really sure how to answer that question honestly at this point, to say that I have enough encouraging people around you. You are who you surround yourself with, and the group of people that you engulf yourself with need to be the people that are going to encourage you and love you and refine you. So I think that's really, really important to make sure that that community around you is the one that's lifting you up and building you up in whatever your passion is. And ours happens to be moto, right? So.
Okay, thank you. I'm not even sure how I ever ended up sitting here because all the odds were against me. I've been riding for almost 40 years, and that was back when you know that there really weren't a lot of women riding motorcycles. When I wanted a bike, I don't know where it came from, just like you, there was nobody in my family, no neighbors or anyone I knew riding a motorcycle. I think I saw a magazine, I thought the front cover looked cool. And my father was the principal of my school. He said, never know. And my mother was the administrator of the hospital, and she said, heck, never. And, so I paid this kid at school for a year, $10 a week for my paper route, and eventually bought a bike without them knowing, took the school bus to his house, and learned how to ride. And that's where it all started. I was road racing. I did a professional level, AMA 250 GP, and at the time I was the only female doing that. And it was real tough. There were guys taking me out purposely on the racetrack, and there were people saying you really shouldn't be doing it. I mean, right up until just recently, a couple years ago, when I went to go buy my first 1250, and the big gentleman at the store was like, that's kind of a big bike for a little girl. They wouldn't sell it to me, I'm not kidding. What? I went down to the point of, this is my checkbook, that's my truck with the 2 lamps in it, I'm going to pay for it in full, I don't want to finance it, somebody was bike. I didn't want to give them my resume. Why should I? And they would not. I left there, this was 2 years ago. I left there almost in tears. I remember being at the gas station and trying to swallow that, your throat is sore. And it's just like this, how do you say, what the heck? And I called the next nearest BMW dealer, and my voice cracked. I was asked the salesman, like, do you have a 1200 Jazz Adventure on your floor? Yes, ma'am, I do. If I show up to buy it, will you sell it to me or not? Yes, ma'am, I will. I was so emotional, but they treated me like a queen. And this was 2 years ago. I have since purchased 5 BMW motorcycles from the dealership. I don't care how long you ride motorcycles, there's always going to be someone you love, someone you don't know, someone you're close to, someone you're not, that's going to stand in front of you and go, what are you doing? It's a big bike, this is dangerous. And we start to believe that. Don't believe any of it, ever. Okay? Thank you.
My response has been, why would you do this? I started riding before my husband. I took the BRC, I didn't pass, I took it at the end of the season. I bought a bike, a little crappy old 250, and rode it. Then I took the class the next spring and passed. But when folks say, oh my God, this is so dangerous, why would you do this? Like, I didn't teach myself. I took a professional class. I ride like I'm invisible. I'm like, and because they always want to tell you about so-and-so crashing, my cousin, whatever. I'm like, they were probably riding too much bike for them. They taught themselves how to ride. So that's my response, like, why would you do this? Took our kids to club meetings on the back of the bike, ride heat after, so the response is, take a real class, don't let a friend teach you. That's your biggest tool for your toolbox. I was an MSF instructor for 7 years, so
you go down, take the course again, get your confidence back.
Yeah. Okay, so next question. Yes, sir.
Is that dealer that didn't sell it to you still in business?
Oh, okay, so it's the best story ever, but I don't want to take away from the show. So when we're done, if you want to hear how that ended.
Tell
Oh my goodness, aren't we all impatient just like me? I love it. Okay, real fast. So, I got the bike, and from the other dealer, they rolled out the red carpet, treated me like a queen. I needed to pee, right, on the way home, so I stopped off at the other dealership. For some reason, parking in front of the door seemed like the best place, so I backed out. And I never do this, but I took my phone I walked to the door, and this is the best part of Goosebumps, because here was the owner that wouldn't sell to me, and here was the sales manager standing at the door talking football, and I was pressing. And I used the bathroom. This gets better. I left the dealership, and I took the scenic way home, and I stopped at this little market off from this mountain pass. No motorcycles around, and all of a sudden this beautiful GS 1200 rolled in. This gorgeous, like Italian tall woman, slender, gets off and she looks at my bike and says, "Nice bike." I said, "Nice bike." Wow. I go, "Where are you from?" I know everyone around here. She goes, "Oh, I'm from." I said, "Ah, weird. I almost bought a bike there, but they wouldn't sell it to me." She goes, "I live 1 block from that dealership. They wouldn't sell it to me either. I drive a little bit further to this town." You're kidding me. It gets better. So I told her one time, "Oh, it's done." But so I ended up winning this GS trophy, and somebody in the industry calls me up and says, "Jocelyn, there's we're doing a presentation at a dealership, and we need you to come and speak about your success. There's going to be 70, 80 adventure riders, these men, and they're requesting you to come and talk." I'm like, "Oh, sure. Which dealership?" "Oh, shit. I owe you a quarter. I'm sorry." So, I go, "Oh, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't be a problem." No, come. So I did. And I got there 10 minutes late, and they were doing a presentation, and there's all these adventure guys sitting just like you are, and guys and gals actually. And I just kind of walked into the back door and he goes, "Oh, we have a guest, ladies and gentlemen." And they didn't have to say, "Jocelyn, no." And the owner was just like, and he went into his office. Oh, it gets better. When I was done, I took a selfie with everybody and they put it on their social media. And I'm leaving, and this woman comes and she's got this pearl necklace and this perfect hair and this little suit. And she comes over to me and she goes, "Hi, Jocelyn. Nice to meet you. Kids, put your earmuffs on." She says, "My husband's an asshole."
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. It's a true story. It's true. That's awesome. So my next question to the group, I'll come down here. I'm gonna go sit in the crowd.
You gotta, Jocelyn, you gotta explain to her what it means.
What have you been told that you can't do, and how did you react?
What have you been told?
What have you been told that you can't do?
I'll take that one. Unfortunately, I've grown up in Alaska and have experienced a lot of different stuff. So I do have a lot of support. However, I had a pretty significant motorcycle crash back in 2011. And, it was pretty significant to get back on and stuff. And so, I had that, why would you continue to ride? And it's, why wouldn't I? I love it. We need to learn how to manage the risk because it is risky. And at the time of my crash, I don't think I was managing the risk very well, so hence the crash. But yeah, I think it's a matter of if you want to do it, there's nothing to stop you. It's just get out there and do what you love. Life is short, and we need to just live it the way we want to live it. So yeah, keep going.
I was told a long time ago that I couldn't ride by myself across the country, anywhere I wanted to go. I year by myself. Last year on a trip with friends who I was riding smaller than, we split up. I said, the gentleman who was leading the trip felt very bad. He said, oh, you're gonna be, I said, Jim, I've been doing this for so long, I never managed, I've never failed to make it wherever I want to go. And so I took an alternate route. I said, I'll see you there. He said, are you sure? I said, I'm absolutely sure. I got delayed once 1 week for a flat tire, but I made it to my destination without a problem. And it's just that you can't do it, you go wrong. No, that ain't happening. That's just, why can't I do it? I have a cell phone, I have insurance, I can get in and out of most situations, so.
I just want to add that Sal has done what? The first person to do all 6 VDRs at the time?
Yeah, at that time.
And you were featured in the 6th one.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll tell another quick little story. One of my favorite things about riding, especially when I'm on a solo trip, and you know, people just don't see that many women, especially alone, on a motorcycle. And riding along and pulling up with a car that's got kids in the back seat, and they're waving, and they're just so excited, and especially like if you're at a gas station and you know there's kids in the car next to you, and you take off your helmet, and they realize you're a girl. I have seen little girls, their eyes just light up, and you can just see it come across their face that the possibility just entered their mind that they could do this someday. And I love that. That is so much fun. So my question for the group is, if you could take that little girl that's in the back of the car that you just saw her eyes light up and tell her something, what would you tell her?
I'm verbose, so it would be really hard for me to narrow it down to one thing, but I'll try. I would say follow your heart, follow your dream. If you see something, go for it. Don't ever let anyone diminish what's in your heart.
And I would absolutely second that. I mean, we've talked already about it. Like, who are the people that are telling you you can't? I mean, Jocelyn's a great example, and I'm sure any of these other ladies are too. She told the story. She's spent her own money in secrecy to learn how to ride a motorcycle.
Don't do
right?
that.
So, I'm like saying to give these new generations, that openness. Just go for it, and follow your heart, and don't let anyone tell you you can't. And it does. It sets a fire off, and I'm like, I'll do it. Watch me. Right. Get out of my way because I'm coming. So, yeah.
Okay, go for it. Anybody? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, to the little girl in the front row. That's you. You can be anything you want to be, but always be faster than the boy.
So about a week ago, I put out a little video on Facebook. I don't know if any of you guys saw it or not. I don't know if I posted it to the MOA group or not. But I asked for my friends to submit some questions for me to ask these lovely ladies while I'm here today. And it was interesting because the vast majority of the questions that I received were from men. And I thought, that's kind of cool. But I guess men are definitely interested in what we have to say as well. So Dean Beatty from Moto Aria in Louisville, he said this question. What are some key factors that are important to women riders when bringing their motorcycles into a shop for service? What do women riders look for when choosing a service center?
Yes.
Anybody else out here have anything they want to add, or what do you look for? Yeah, come on up to the front.
Yeah, there's a big echo in the room and it's tricky to. It is tricky. Well, I'm
I would have to say willingness to answer my questions about price of the service, what's being done, and what is the condition of my bike when I pick it up. Just be honest and don't act like I'm a pain in the ass. I really appreciate that.
Can I say something about that too? Yeah, okay.
So I have this LLC called Women's Off-Road Moto that's a couple years old, and my husband and I spend a lot of time bringing women into the industry. So women oftentimes start 30s, 40s, 50 years old. We don't have the opportunity to sit around gear heads all day and talk about carburetors and fork seals, okay? So at 40 years old, some of these women in Women's Off-Road Moto are now trying to figure out, or they are learning the process of how to manage their bike. And so when they walk up to anybody, oftentimes, and nobody wants to be the lowest common denominator. Nobody wants to walk in and not understand the language of any culture or community. So it's not that women don't have the capacity or the intelligence, it's just that we haven't done it yet, right? So I think something that made Women's Off-Road Moto so successful is I have an amazing husband who's an engineer and can fix anything. So he was able to, I think there was a lot of trust that was built so that these women could learn how to fix their bikes or know that there was somebody to help them through that process. Like, we can even teach you how to do it. So I went to a dealer a couple years ago and I was looking to buy a new dirt bike. And the guy didn't know me from anybody, and I said, oh, well, what would I asked him what he thought I should buy as a new dirt bike rider, which I wasn't completely new, but he pointed to a two-stroke KTM 250, and I'm 5'3", and he said, that should be your new beginner bike. Right? I was like, yeah, I couldn't even, I was shaking my head, no wonder there are not women in the industry. Not more women. So I think that trust factor, that trust, I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions because I maybe not have been writing my entire life around a bunch of men who sit around and talk about all the mechanics of the bike. And I'm not saying that there aren't women who have, because there are brilliant women engineers, right? But you have to start somewhere. Even if you start when you're in college or when you're 50 years old when you first started. So I think it's that respect. I can learn, you just need to be patient and kind when you speak to me and respectful. Gender has nothing to do with that education piece. I think if a man started at 40 years old, he still needs the same thing, right? Dudes, get in here, you still want the same respect and all those things.
If you have the option to go to 2 dealers and you have a significant other in your life, go to that service manager with your partner. If they make eye contact with you, as opposed to talking over you to your husband.
You ever go to motorcycle trade shows and you talk to the vendors? Not here, of course, all the vendors here are awesome, but they talk to the person next to you. Yeah, definitely.
I mentioned that I have one foot in the dealer world because I write articles for dealer news, and I'm always trying to educate dealers about best practices and selling to women. And I just wanted to give this room an offering, which is the way that we're going to change the industry is if we go to these dealers, whether we have a completely unsatisfactory experience or a satisfactory experience, and explain why, and explain what our experience there dealing with their dealership, positive or negative. If we give feedback, then that's how we get noticed. I hear all the time, there's not enough gear for women, there's not enough gear for women. That's a whole separate discussion. And what you need to be doing is you need to be talking to your dealer and giving them that feedback. Hey, you're not carrying, I've got my checkbook right here. You're not carrying what I need, so you're forcing me to go down the road, or worse, go online. And I just want to add one more comment since I'm on my soapbox, and that is we are partly to blame for dealers not having a broad selection of apparel in the dealerships, because as consumers, we're often looking for the best price. And if you walk into a dealership, spend an hour with their salesperson, trying on all the different jackets, get just the right fit, and then go order it online for $10 less at Revzilla, you've just demolished your dealer's ability to make money. And they are a business, they are there to make money. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox, but feedback. I want to just get back to feedback. Give feedback all the time. Give feedback to the manufacturers. Go up a notch. If you have an unsatisfactory experience on a dealer level, talk to the OEM. If you have a positive experience, talk to the OEM, because that's ultimately where we're going to change the industry, when we start being recognized as an economic force in the industry. And we are. The Motorcycle Industry Council just said we account for 19% of female motorcycle owners. Let's use that. Let's amplify our voice and be heard. We want better equipment. We want equipment that fits us. We want safety apparel that's equal to the safety apparel of men, that has the same amount of armor, that has the same construction standards. And we don't want pink.
Absolutely. And just a second, what she was saying about, choosing where to purchase your things. I like to think about, yeah, we go to our dealers to buy our motorcycles, and, we have to go there when we need service a lot of times. But we go online to get better deals for certain things. But if we do that over and over, and we always go online to get better deals, then these motorcycle shops don't have big margins. We need to support them across the board when we can. The brick and mortar shops are not going to be there if we buy all our accessories online. So think about that. Try to support your shops when you can. Choose brick and mortar when at all possible. There's the lady in the back. Would you like to come up front? Sure.
Hi, my name is Tracy. I'm from the St. Louis area. And I just want to give a shout out to my local shop, Gateway BMW. So they have a woman who does all the gear. Parkland. And so she fits you with the helmet. She says, you're staying in the store for half an hour and wearing that helmet. And then I'm going to take it off. I'm going to look at, your head and the wear points. And she fits the gear for you. If you have a problem, you go back. And she's great to work with both men and women. She understands both. And then they've also had women sales people at Gateway. So I dealt with both of them, and it was a wonderful experience. So I think we just need more women in those positions, and that will help.
This fine gentleman right here brought me with him when he bought his brand new 1250 just a little bit ago, and thank you, Mike, for buying your 1250 because passed along this discount that day. He did a discount when you buy a motorcycle, so I ended up with a very nice jacket. Yes.
So this is my first rally, and it's nice to hear you all because I've seen so many. I'm very motivated to see y'all up there and talking about motorcycles. So I have quite a few motorcycles, and I love to ride. But now I have two things. One was the gear. At my first rally, I do wish there was maybe some vendors didn't bring girls' stuff here, And so I was ready to buy. I've blossomed some this year, and I need some new pants. And I didn't see it, so if it's there, maybe next year that would be something. And the other thing was, I just had a story here. So here I am with all these motorcyclists at this here, and I've got a big fat RT 1200 that I ride. This guy comes up to me here and said, "Isn't that a really big bike for a woman?" And I said, "Well, I don't carry it."
thought was interesting. And it was Fred Bramlett, I think that's how you say his name. What barriers of entry can MOA and charter clubs remove and or reduce to become more inclusive for both male and female riders?
Oh, shout out to him.
Yes. Anybody have thoughts on that? First of all, I think the MOA is really inclusive, and we do a great job. I did not come from a background like this. I was around a lot of vintage Harley types for a long time, and going to those kind of rallies is night and day difference from this. You know, I don't know, how many people have come from a Harley world? Have you been around a lot of bikers? Anybody have anything to say about what those differences are? Okay.
Hi, my first time too. I got a couple of things, if you don't mind. My father was the Harley guy crowd, and that mentality is a little, I don't know, to say it's a little demeaning to women. You know, it's not very encouraging of them, how they think and what they do. It's more just your candy on the backside. Yeah. Yeah. And so I actually put a Facebook post when I got here, like, this is different. First off, they're teaching classes. It's actually organized, and the fact that they have a 5K and yoga, you don't see that in Harlem. And it's obvious you don't see that. So I'm really proud of that. So I immediately told my dad. And of course he teases back about, you know, we're wearing lederhosens up here and stuff, so that's okay. That's all right. But I did appreciate that there's actual, you know, an organization that does, and the way to be inclusive for this is to say, you're more than just candy. You know, you actually are intelligent, and what you say is matters. And that the fact that there's a lot of men here in this women's group is awesome. And my husband, the second thing I want to say is there are a lot more supportive people out there than just the bad people, and maybe you could emphasize that. My husband was, you know, you want to learn to ride? Mm-hmm. I am not your typical person. No, I'm fine on the back. I'm good. But he's like, yeah, you could do it. Yeah, okay, you're right. Maybe I could. So my whole goal, when I started riding in November, was to get here. And so I'm here.
So I'm one of those who turned 50, got a tattoo on a motorcycle. And my husband and I did it together, and we've never ridden two of them. I want to say about the Harley riders, we've gone to a lot of conventions, and last night I got up about 12 o'clock to do my business, and it was quiet. It was silent on the hill. All the other rallies at 12 o'clock, the bands are going, the music's screaming, and the beer is being poured. Yep.
I wanted to comment on your what you said. I'm sorry. What's your name?
What is it?
Shannon. Okay. Erin. Good to meet you. So I was going to say I also wanted to give props to the men who are supportive. I have to be honest, because honestly, Women's Off-Road Motive would not be the success that I think it is without people like Matt Kelly and Mike Williams and so many other men that have supported us. They literally, like the best in the world. He was taking novice brand new riders and spending an entire weekend of his own free time, including his wife, Cinda. I mean, like, they're helping these women go into the industry, and that's like a sacrifice when you're the best in the world and you can just do the gnarliest, coolest stuff. And it's just all the guys, the mechanical knowledge, the kindness that goes into that. And I just have to give a hands, like, we have to give them a round, because those guys are amazing. It's very helpful. That's all I wanted. No, I was kidding. I just want to say I've only been riding for a year and a half, and I'm going to be controversial to the women board because I've never once been told I can't do it by anybody, men or women. So thank everybody for turning this industry for people like me and my 2 daughters who are now riding with me. I've never had any adversity. I've never had a guy tell me no. I've never experienced anything that you guys have experienced. It's been encouraging, uplifting. My first hill climb, the guys were rooting for me louder than any other women, and I was the only girl doing it, and they were pushing me and elevating me. So I just want to say thank you to the community, because my experience has been nothing but positive, and I've never experienced what you guys have, which means that we are changing.
Yes.
You know,
MOA. So I went into the vendor tent and walked over to the MOA where they have apparel, and I thought, well, I wonder if I can find anything here. I'll tell you what, the women's apparel that they have for the MOA is just fantastic. So I want to thank them. The women's apparel, is that an accent? Clothing. It's an East Coast accent. I live in California, so it's a mess. But no, it was great. If you haven't been in there, it's inside the vendor hall, and there's a lot of really cute tops and stuff. And of course, they allowed us to have this, so I think they're doing pretty darn good. So thank you, MOA.
Just real quick, I just want to point out again that, you know, the best way to get women included is to include them in the leadership of the community. So we're awesome, I think. Yes.
Hello, my name is Mary Jo Grayson. I'm the president of the City Beavers Motorcycle Club. MOA Charter Club, and what you just said was dead on. It's hard running a club. It's hard running a club full of men, but the best way to change things and to be inclusive is to take on a leadership role. A lot of times we get people asking us, can I join? And I know it's harsh, it's New York City. We say, no, come ride with us first. Check us out, meet us. We want to meet you. We want to make sure you're not an asshole. Because it's a family. You become best friends. These are my best friends in the club, in the MOA. I mean, I come to these rallies from New York City almost every year, and I look for my friends here. Muriel, and everybody here. So it's exhausting dealing with the MOA leadership, but it's worth it.
Questions on the floor. We've still got a few minutes. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to shout out to the MOA, the Gears program. If you guys have not heard of it, there are 4 kids in here, 4 girls, as a matter of fact. Get your kids involved. That's how the MOA is going to survive. It's these guys. It's not us. It's those guys.
Deborah Parsons, I've been riding almost 40 years, and I want to touch on a subject that we don't think about when we're, how many people wear full-face helmet shoes? Okay. I had my nose taken off last year in July because of skin cancer. The face shield intensifies the rays. You don't think about it. We didn't have back then drop down, shaded things. We just sometimes slap sunscreen on and sometimes not. I'm encouraging you to use a high number sunscreen on your nose because the low numbers with sun coming through, it just intensifies them. Because we would want everybody not to have to go through what I went through, the most painful thing in my life. And even when I went down, it wasn't as painful as this nose thing, but he did a really good job. Funny story, on my way up to Prudhoe Bay, my boot sprung a leak, and I had 1200 GS, and I stopped at Fairbanks, and I went and I said, I need some boots. When she said, how high do you want your heat? I said, you have duct tape? Duct tape it up, silver duct tape, and I didn't make it all the way to Prudhoe Bay because it was July 4th, and there's only one flipping hotel. And I said, I'm not taking a chance. So I did get past the dead horse. And then when I came down from the Dolphin, I had calcium chloride. People were staring at my shoe. They thought I had a club foot. I never get that look away. You know. So duct tape is very important. And do it in all the colors. So that's why what color you're wearing will go with it.
Somebody in the way back up there? Come on up.
I want to say, don't just, I encourage the girls, absolutely encourage the girls, but teach the young boys too. Because I have two grandsons, and the 9-year-old this year in school, there was a little girl in his class, and she said, I really want to learn to ride a motorcycle. I heard that would be so cool, I want to do that. And one of the other little boys says, girls don't ride bikes. You can't do that. His dad rides. No, BMW. And my grandson stands up and says, you can ride anything you want to. There's no reason you can't ride. My grandma rides and she goes all over the country. She's old. And he says, and I'll bet she not ride your dad any day. Teach the boys too.
Anybody else have questions for the panel?
I think that MOA is definitely making more of an effort to include women, but the people who do make the motorcycles really need to pay attention, because there's some of us that are little. And I've had 5 or 6 BMWs, some of them are factory lowered, some of them are stock, but I wanted to test ride a motorcycle, and I went over, and the only 3 motorcycles that were under 30-inch seat height were the 1600K bikes. I don't want to ride a 1600K bike, okay? The other one was the R310, which I have already. But, it's like there's many other motorcycle brands that pay attention and have low seats. Moto Guzzi's I have, Ducatis, Hondas, Suzuki's, without having to modify that. So they need to pay attention to that too, because not only you are blessed with these fucking legs. A windbreaker shirt. There was nothing smaller than a medium. And I went and I spoke to them, they said, oh yeah, we had 2 smalls. And I'm like, for thousands of people? Really? So I think they're trying, but even the shops that do have women's gear, I tried on a woman's small, it was not small enough. They actually ordered me an extra small and said I didn't have to buy it if it didn't fit. But they didn't have small gloves. I went in there like, I'm buying a brand new suit. I've got $2,000 in my hand. And they didn't have stuff to fit me. So, I know I'm not the only one that's little. I see many little women here. So, we need to continue to work on that. But I think we've come a long way in the 45 years I've been riding.
At 5'1.5" with a 27-inch inseam, you don't need to touch the ground on your motorcycle. And anyone that wants to spend time with me, I can tell them that, because I don't touch the ground on anything I own. But let's not forget that we've come a long way, because there was a time that I remember when we didn't have women's motorcycle gear. You know, there's a lot of it compared to what we used to have. So the manufacturers, they're out to make the money. And what's the demographic right now that's buying motorcycles? Pick your brand. And unfortunately, you know, the majority isn't here with us yet, us short girls like this. But how we can change that is to keep encouraging others and inspiring others and being a positive role model for other women and men and shorter people. And eventually that will come because it is coming. And the manufacturers are listening, but they gotta make money too, so, yes. You haven't seen it?
I used to, from having done a couple trips with her, and we're the same height, same age. And I'm the opposite end of the spectrum on sizing of women's riding gear. I'm short and stout. I'm a little teapot. The manufacturers, I'm frustrated because they don't seem to want to hear the fact that men are angles and squares, and it's really easy to cut clothes to that. Women are all circles and curves. And it's a challenge, and every single one of us is unique. And there's only, I think, 2, maybe 3 manufacturers who make riding gear that's custom made. I know of only one that is 100% custom, where they take every single measurement that a tailor does. I'm sorry? No, not Aerostitch. Because if it doesn't fit you in the collar from Aerostitch, you're out of luck. If the shoulders are too wide, you're out of luck. I'm not going to be an advertisement right now, because that's not what we're doing here. But I just wanted to point out, to answer that question, that yes, they're kind of listening, but I think they need to listen a little harder. There are a lot of manufacturers that can take very low 1-2% of their season run of gear and not finish the sleeves and pants and have that set aside for women who need to have that shorter or longer. How hard is that? So anyway, that's the other side. That's sort of the opposite end of the spectrum that pursue that. The question of here, I think, is an ongoing thing among women.
I know it's not an advertising, but the goal is to help women help each other. And you have a manufacturer that will do your size or help you more. The rest of us don't know.
I think
People who do 100% sizing are on the West Coast. If you want to know who they are, come find me after this ends. It does, for me, it involves acquaintance flight from Massachusetts to California and back again.
I hate to interrupt, but we just have a couple minutes left. And
if you really want to know, come and ask me.
We've got one last question here from the crowd.
Hi, the question is on behalf of my 17-year-old daughter. She's not here, but she just got her license, and I'm interested in anyone who started riding on the first baby steps towards, the MSF type of class is just on the parking lot, or the pavement. So what were your first steps to get onto the road? I'd be very interested, just to build confidence. I did the same with my 20-year-old son, but after I took him to a couple of BMW rallies, to be very honest, he got spooked by the size of the bigness of the bike. So.
On my Women's Motorcycle Tours website, I have 10 out-of-the-box tips to build your motorcycle riding confidence. And one of them is ride a dirt bike. Yes. I think we can all agree on that. Ride a dirt bike is one way to build confidence, because in my opinion, once the mechanics are automatic, then you have more mental bandwidth for all of this. So the other thing that I'm going to recommend as well is most people think that their first bike is their last bike. And so they, you know, when they finally get into motorcycling and they buy their dream bike. And my advice is to start small and be really comfortable, be super, super, super comfortable before you move up. So that's another thing that you can do. Another one of my tips on the 10 tips is to ride a bicycle, what do you call it, a mountain bike, because again, that helps with the balance, helps with all the hand-feet coordination, because riding a motorcycle is one of the most difficult things you can do, because you've got all your bits doing a different thing. And once once you master that mind over body, then you have more bandwidth to pay attention to the outer world. I have more, come find me after.
Finally, I'm going to ask Cassie to talk a little bit about what we're getting ready to do next. We only have a minute or two left in this room, and then we're going to go outside and learn how to pick up some big bikes. So if you've never done that before, this is a good opportunity to give it a shot. So one more final question from the crowd before we go.
I'm Becky from Kentucky. I'm a newbie. This is my first rally, but not my I'm here with my good friend Heather. You might have seen us with Jack Rippey yesterday. He's kind of made us famous, unfortunately. But my husband was a Motorcycle Safety Foundation coach for quite a few years, and so a lot of our good friends are too. And I would love it when he would come home and I'd be like, so how was your class today? He'd be like, it was freaking awesome. He's like, I had 12 women, or I had 11 women. And he, out of all the classes he taught, and they had a lot of guys too, he said, the women were the best. He said, they're eager to learn, they're eager for instruction, they listen. Yeah, because when they're dealing with a lot of the men, you're already fighting ego and a man telling them what to do, and a lot of learned bad behavior that you're trying to break and undo. And it's exciting. I've even told some of my girlfriends that don't ride, if you want to do something that is just the coolest experience, whether you're gonna ride or not, take a class, just for fun, if you've got a weekend. We had a girlfriend who did it. She's been a long time bicyclist, had an accident a while back, traumatic brain injury. She's doing great. Her husband loves to ride. He's done supercross, motocross, dirt bike. We're trying to get him a Beamer. He wants a Beamer really bad. We're gonna get him there. But she just took a course 2 weeks ago and did great, but put her foot down on one of the last skills tests. And they kind of dismissed her, but after class invited her to come back and take it again. So we were like, come over for dinner. Let's talk about it. And it was like, the whole time. And it's so exciting and encouraging to see other women that ride and get excited about it. I think we're just the most supporting, nurturing group of people that there are. And I'm so thankful that we have the men in our lives that ride and support other women. I think Daryl even was your coach too. Yeah, he's also the reason I think you got a Beamer too. So we're glad for that. But I'm just thankful for that, and thank you for that opportunity. Thanks everybody for being here. We're probably going to